Did you know there's a vitamin so incredibly affordable, yet so profoundly powerful, it could completely transform the way you walk after 70? Sounds like an exaggeration, right? But it's not. Consider the case of Ernesto, a 75-year-old gentleman who used to shuffle along, bent over, with slow, tiny steps. Every time he ventured out for a walk, he'd end up exhausted, his knees aching, and that heavy feeling that his legs just weren't listening anymore. Then, his doctor mentioned a simple vitamin, one that costs next to nothing, but could make all the difference in his daily life. Just 3 weeks later, Ernesto excitedly shared that he had regained a significant part of his agility. He's not running marathons, no, but he can climb stairs without stopping. He can go for a walk without that constant heaviness. And most importantly, he feels independent again. And it's not just Ernesto's story. Studies on older adults have consistently shown that this vitamin is directly linked to better balance, increased muscle strength, and robust bone health. People who take it regularly report fewer falls, less fatigue, and a greater ability to move confidently and securely. And the best part? We're not talking about an expensive treatment or some miracle supplement sold online. We're talking about something simple, something accessible, something you likely already have access to or can get for less than the price of a loaf of bread. In the next few minutes, we're going to reveal exactly how this vitamin can help you walk better, feel more energetic, and ease those aches and pains in your legs. It's not magic, it's science. And if you're over 70, this could be one of the most valuable tips you hear today. So, pay close attention, because we're about to talk about strength, balance, healthy bones, and how to take firmer steps without spending a fortune. But before we dive in, tell us in the comments below, how old are you, and where are you watching from today? We'd love to know and read your responses. Benefit 1. Boosts muscle mass and improves stamina. One of the most surprising effects of this vitamin on older adults is its impact on muscle strength. Yes, that strength we often believe simply vanishes as we age. But the truth is, it's not just the passage of time that weakens our muscles. It's also the lack of certain essential nutrients needed to keep them active and resilient. This vitamin, which we'll name soon, plays a fundamental role in protein synthesis. And you don't need to be a doctor to understand what that means. Think of your muscles as structures that need constant repair and maintenance. Every time you use your legs to walk, climb stairs, or simply stand up from a chair, you're using muscle fibers that wear down over time. To keep them strong, your body needs to build new proteins, and that's where this vitamin comes in. Furthermore, this vitamin is crucial for muscle contraction. Have you ever noticed your legs feeling shaky during an effort, or felt like they just don't respond firmly? That feeling might be related to low levels of this vitamin, which directly affects how your muscles receive signals to contract correctly. Now, consider Donna Carmen, a 72-year-old woman who, just a few months ago, felt limited even moving around her own house. Climbing 2 steps left her breathless. Her legs ached, and she felt increasingly dependent. Her doctor recommended checking her levels of this vitamin and starting a daily dose. Just 1 month later, she could not only walk down the hallway without stopping, but she even went grocery shopping with her granddaughter again. She shared, "I feel like I have control over my body again." Because strength in your legs isn't just about mobility. It's about safety, it's about independence, it's about being able to stand up without help, walk without fear of falling, and feeling like you can still rely on yourself. So, if you feel a lack of strength or get tired faster than before, maybe it's not just your age. Perhaps your body is asking for support you're not recognizing. And the good news is, that support might be closer and cheaper than you think. Benefit 2. Relieves joint pain and reduces inflammation. One of the most common pains that settle in with age is the one in your knees, hips, or even ankles. Pain when getting up, morning stiffness, difficulty taking those first steps. Perhaps you've felt it too. That constant creaking sound that repeats every time you climb a stair or try to bend down. And while we often accept it as a normal part of aging, it doesn't always have to be that way. The vitamin we're discussing has a powerful anti-inflammatory capacity. How does it do it? It acts on the immune system, modulating the production of certain substances called cytokines. When these cytokines are out of balance, they cause chronic inflammation in the joints. It's this inflammation that irritates tissues, stiffens areas that should be flexible, and causes that constant pain when we move. Additionally, this vitamin helps regulate blood calcium levels, a mineral that not only strengthens bones but also participates in muscle contraction and nerve signaling. When calcium isn't properly distributed, tiny deposits can form where they shouldn't be, like in joints, increasing pain and stiffness. This vitamin helps prevent that, ensuring calcium goes where it's needed, to your bones, not your soft tissues. Consider the case of Juan, an 80-year-old man who used to wake up with knees feeling like concrete blocks. Every morning was a battle against stiffness. His grandson would help him stand up, and only after several minutes could he take his first steps. His doctor suggested he start taking this vitamin daily along with some very gentle stretching exercises. After a month, Juan noticed something unexpected. He was getting up with more ease. It wasn't that the pain had vanished completely, but it wasn't the same torment. Now it takes me seconds to get up, not minutes, he shared with a smile. And that's the key. It's not about eliminating all pain instantly, but about regaining mobility, about feeling that every day you walk with a little less suffering. To enhance this benefit, a great recommendation is to pair the vitamin with some movement. You don't need to run marathons or lift weights. Just walking for a few minutes around the house, doing gentle stretches upon waking, or moving your legs in circles while sitting is enough. Exercise, no matter how light, helps activate circulation, lubricate joints, and keep your body moving. And when combined with a vitamin that fights inflammation from within, the results can be felt in a matter of weeks. Benefit 3. Improves balance and coordination. If you've ever felt unsteady when standing up, or if you notice yourself swaying a bit while walking, even when you're not tired, you're not alone. It happens to many older adults. And the most important thing is, this isn't just about clumsiness or muscle weakness. Often, the real issue lies in something much deeper: the connection between your brain, nerves, and muscles. The vitamin we're talking about today doesn't just work on bones or joints. It also plays a crucial role in neuromuscular health, that is, how your muscles respond to signals from your nervous system. This vitamin helps ensure those electrical signals traveling from your brain to your legs, feet, and muscles arrive clearly, precisely, and without interference. When there's a deficiency, that communication starts to fail. Muscles respond slower, legs don't feel secure, and the brain struggles to receive the information it needs to. Maintain balance. This is called impaired proprioception. It's like the body gradually loses its ability to know exactly where it is in space, and that is one of the most frequent causes of falls in old age. Don Alfredo, for example, illustrates this perfectly. In his later years, he had started feeling like his body would drift to the side when standing up from a chair. It wasn't dizziness, it wasn't extreme weakness. It was as if his legs weren't quite responding properly. His granddaughter bought him a supplement with this vitamin, and at the same time, they started doing a very simple exercise each morning, lifting one leg for 5 seconds while holding onto the back of a sturdy chair. They did it with one leg, then the other. A month later, Don Alfredo no longer swayed when standing up. He proudly shared, "My legs listen to me again now." This occurs because with the support of this vitamin, the nerves controlling reflexes and balance improve their function. And when your nervous system responds swiftly, your body moves with more confidence. Want to boost this effect at home? Here's a simple suggestion. Every morning after waking up, stand near a wall or a sturdy chair. Try lifting one leg while balancing on the other, even if it's just for 3 or 4 seconds. Then switch sides. This stimulates your sense of balance, activates stabilizing muscles, and strengthens the feedback loop between your feet and your brain. Remember, a steadier step, a more secure stride, can make the difference between a normal day and a life-altering fall. And this vitamin could be that little push your body was needing. Now let's move on to the next benefit. Have you felt tired even after sleeping well? Then pay attention, because this vitamin also has something to say about your energy levels. Benefit 4. Increases energy and fights fatigue. One of the most common complaints after age 70 isn't pain, or even lack of strength, but constant exhaustion. That feeling of waking up already tired, of walking a few yards and feeling like your legs weigh you down as if you had bags of sand tied to your ankles. It's a tiredness that isn't always explained by lack of sleep or illness. It's simply your body saying, "I'm not producing energy like I used to." And this is where this vitamin once again shows its power. Because it's not just an ally for bones or balance, it's also key to how our cells produce energy. To understand this better, imagine each of your cells as a tiny power plant. Inside, There are structures called mitochondria, which function like energy generators. But for these mitochondria to work well, they need certain nutrients, and this vitamin is one of the most important. Without it, that energy production system becomes slow, inefficient, and draining. It's like trying to light a bulb with a dead battery. That's why, when levels of this vitamin are low, one of the first symptoms to appear is fatigue. It doesn't matter if you slept well or ate healthily. You wake up and you're already tired. You walk a few minutes and you need to sit down. But when you start consistently supplementing with this vitamin, many people notice a real improvement in their energy levels. Consider the experience of Marta, a 78-year-old woman who shared that every morning upon getting out of bed, her legs felt like two concrete columns. She had to sit on the edge, breathe deeply, and wait a few minutes before she could walk to the kitchen. Her granddaughter gave her a bottle with this vitamin and recommended taking it with breakfast. In just a few weeks, Marta began to notice that her legs weren't so heavy anymore. As she put it, "It's like my body turns on faster every morning." And this testimony is repeated again and again. Older adults who start regaining energy, not by magic, but because their cells, with the help of this vitamin, start doing their job more efficiently again. A practical tip: if you're going to incorporate this vitamin into your routine, take it first thing in the morning, preferably with breakfast.
Why?
Because by stimulating energy metabolism, many people experience a small peak in vitality a few hours after taking it. And if you take your dose in the morning, that effect stays with you during the hours of the day when you most need to move, walk, or concentrate. Feeling drained even after resting? Perhaps your body doesn't need more sleep, but better fuel. And this vitamin could be just that. And if we've already talked about energy and movement, wait until you discover how this vitamin also strengthens your bones and protects your most valuable structure, your skeleton. Let's get to that. Benefit 5. Strengthens bones and prevents osteoporosis. One of the biggest fears after 70 is the risk of a fall, but more than the fall itself, what's most frightening is what can happen afterward. A hip fracture, a broken bone, a complicated surgery, or even the loss of independence. What many don't know is that there is a simple and accessible way to reduce that risk, and that way starts with caring for your bone health from within. When you talk about bones, everyone thinks of calcium. And it's true, calcium is the main mineral that gives them hardness. But calcium alone isn't much use if it's not combined with the right vitamin. It's like having bricks without cement. This vitamin acts as the transporter that carries calcium to the places it's truly needed, your bones. And not only that, it also helps keep that calcium there, strengthening them from the root. As we age, we naturally lose bone mass. It's part of the body's process, but the concern isn't losing a little, but losing so much that bones become porous, fragile, and brittle. This is known as osteoporosis, a silent condition that progresses without warning until one day, with a wrong step, everything changes. What's most striking is that recent studies have shown this vitamin can significantly reduce the risk of fractures, especially in older adults. In research conducted with adults over 70, those who took this vitamin regularly for several months managed to reduce hip fractures by up to 20% compared to those who didn't. A 20% reduction might seem small, but when we're talking about life-changing fractures, it's a huge difference. But as is often stated, a vitamin doesn't do it all alone. To keep bones strong, it's essential to combine this supplementation with physical activity. And you don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. Light weight-bearing exercises, like walking briskly, climbing stairs, or doing balance exercises using your own body weight, are more than enough to stimulate bone regeneration. Imagine this: every time you step firmly on the ground, you're telling your bones, "Stay strong, I still need you." And when you give them the right vitamin, they respond by building themselves denser, more solid, more resistant. So, if you're at that stage where you notice your bones aren't what they used to be, if you've ever had a minor fall that left you sore for days, or if you simply want to prevent future issues, now you know this vitamin can be a great ally. It strengthens from within, protects from the invisible. And now that you know its benefits, you're probably wondering, where do I get it? Is it in any food? How much does it cost? That's what we'll look at next. Now that you know everything this vitamin can do for you, improve your walking, relieve pain, give you more energy, and strengthen your bones, it's time to talk about the most important thing: how to get it. And the great news is, You don't need to spend large sums of money or search for exotic products to start incorporating it into your daily life. The first thing you should know is that this vitamin can be obtained in two ways: naturally, through diet and sun exposure, and supplementally. Both are valid, and in many cases, they are combined to reach the right amount. Among the richest foods in this vitamin are eggs, especially the yolk, liver, and oily fish like sardines, salmon, and mackerel. It's also present in some fortified dairy products and certain types of mushrooms. If you make a habit of eating fish a couple of times a week, adding eggs to breakfast, and varying your diet with some liver once in a while, you're already on the right track. But besides diet, there's a natural and free source of this vitamin: the sun. Yes. By simply exposing your skin for about 15 to 20 minutes a day, preferably arms and legs, your body can produce this vitamin naturally. However, this depends entirely on the time of day, the season, and where you live. In countries with little sunlight or during winter, this route may not be sufficient. And of course, if you use sunscreen at all times or hardly go outdoors, your production will also be very low. That's why many people over 70 opt for supplements. And here comes another piece of good news. Supplements of this vitamin are among the most accessible on the market. You don't need expensive brands or special formulas. A bottle of generic pills can cost less than a weekly coffee and last you a whole month. The recommended dose for adults over 70 is often cited as between 800 and 2,000 international units per day, which is approximately 20 to 50 micrograms. It's always best to start with a moderate dose and consult your doctor if you need to adjust. Some people with very low levels may require more, at least initially. When looking for a supplement, pay attention to a few important details. Ensure it's easily absorbed, preferably in soft gel or liquid form, and that it's backed by some quality certification. You don't need to pay more for a fancy label. The important thing is that it does its job and that you are consistent with its use. Remember that this vitamin isn't something you take once and you're done. Its effect builds over time. It's a daily investment, simple but powerful. A small gesture that can bring big benefits to your walking, your posture, your well-being. And best of all, it's within almost everyone's reach. Just a little planning, some minutes in the sun, a varied diet, or an inexpensive supplement. It's that easy and that transformative. But before you rush out to buy it, there's something else you need to know. While this vitamin has many benefits, it can also have effects if not taken cautiously. And that's what we'll discuss in the next part: precautions and interactions. So far, we've talked about all the benefits this vitamin can bring to your life after 70. More strength, less pain, better balance, firmer bones, and renewed energy. But like everything in life, you also need to be careful, because although it's an essential and generally safe nutrient, it's not without risks if used incorrectly or without monitoring. The first recommendation before starting supplements is very simple but fundamental: get a blood test. Measuring the levels of this vitamin in your body allows you to know if you truly have a deficiency and, more importantly, how much you need to reach a healthy level. Not all older adults have the same levels. Some get enough sun exposure, others already receive it through their diet, and there are those who, for various reasons, have levels well below recommended. Furthermore, it's important to consider if you are taking any medications. Many older adults take chronic medications, and some of them can interact with this vitamin. For example, thiazide diuretics, frequently used to treat high blood pressure, can increase blood calcium levels when combined with supplements of this vitamin, potentially leading to hypercalcemia. This means calcium in the blood rises too high, which can cause nausea, muscle weakness, and even kidney problems. Care must also be taken if you are taking corticosteroids, medications used to treat inflammation or autoimmune diseases. These drugs can interfere with how your body uses the vitamin, reducing its efficacy and increasing the need for supplementation, but always under medical supervision. So, how do you know if you're taking more than necessary? While it's difficult to get intoxicated with this vitamin just through diet or sun, supplements can cause an overdose if consumed in very high amounts for a prolonged period. Some mild signs of excess might include loss of appetite, nausea, abdominal pain, constant thirst, or frequent urination. In cases of significant excess, there can be kidney damage or heart rhythm abnormalities. That's why we emphasize, never start supplementation without consulting your trusted doctor. Especially if you are already taking other medications or have conditions like kidney disease, liver disease, or cardiovascular problems. Your doctor can advise you on the ideal dose, order tests if necessary, and provide follow-up to ensure safe and effective use. It's also important to remember that more isn't always better. Some people think that because it's a vitamin, you can take it freely as if it were water, but that's not the case. Vitamins have a precise function in the body, and an excess can be as harmful as a deficiency. And if you decide to take it, do so with awareness. Complement supplementation with good habits, a balanced diet, some regular exercise, and sufficient rest, because ultimately, it's not just about taking a pill, but about caring for your body holistically. Now that we've reached the end of the video, let's do a quick recap of everything we discovered together. We talked about a very simple, inexpensive vitamin with tremendous power to help you walk better after 70. First, we saw how it helps strengthen muscles, something fundamental for maintaining equilibrium and preventing falls. Then we discussed its ability to reduce joint pain and inflammation, especially in knees and hips, where the passage of time is most felt. We also mentioned how it fights fatigue, giving you more energy to move, enjoy, and not feel drained after walking just a few minutes. Later, we explored its role in bone health, helping prevent fractures thanks to its action on calcium and bone density. And finally, we learned how to get it easily through sun, rich foods, and very affordable supplements. No, this is not a miracle pill. This vitamin won't solve everything, but it can be a very powerful ally within an active lifestyle that also includes an adequate diet, some movement each day, and good rest. Our invitation is clear. If you're over 70 and feel like walking isn't as easy as it used to be, that your muscles feel heavy, or your joints complain, consider incorporating this vitamin for a month, with your doctor's advice, of course. Observe how you feel. See if you get up with more agility, if you can take that walk without having to sit down every few yards, if you feel a bit steadier on your feet. Sometimes, small changes bring big results. And now, we want to hear from you. Are you inspired to add it to your routine? Did you already know about it? Have you tried it before and noticed any improvement? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to know your age, where you're watching from, and how you feel about all this. And if you think this video could help a friend, a neighbor, a family member who is also feeling the years in their legs, please share it. Because perhaps, with this small vitamin, you might be giving them something much more valuable: their freedom to keep walking. Thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure sharing this content with you.